This is a sponsored video because I've got to save up money for my studio. And today's lovely sponsor is Raycon. Raycon is creating a premium wireless audio experience without the hefty price tag. Full stop, no comp. Comp as in like compromise, not competitive or compilation or complimentary. No need for a thesaurus. They're dedicated to what they're doing and they do it right. At half the price of other brands, Raycon doesn't sacrifice any aspect of their product quality for their oh-so-affordable price. The sound is on par with other more expensive brands. The quality of the bass is particularly noteworthy. It took so much effort to not say bass. And they come with a bunch of gel tips to get the perfect fit in your ear. So once they're in, you can rest assured they're in to stay. I like to listen to videos while I draw, especially like several hour-long drama videos. It's endless entertainment. And that's totally fine when I'm using my Raycon Everyday Earbuds. They have a battery life of 32 hours, so now, if they die, I know that I've been awake for too long and it's time to go to bed. Go to buyraycon.com/GinjaNinja or click the link in the description below to save you 15% off of your Raycon purchase. And now, on with the video. Telephone, take 2. Quick rundown of the rules. To play Art Telephone, you first have to draw a picture, and then you get some friends, and you give one of those friends a couple minutes to memorize the picture. And they all have to take turns recreating the previous one from memory as best they can until you get to the end, and you see where you ended up. This is my second time hosting one of those collab videos. Previously, the starting image was of Katsumi and Neneko from my developing series Prism, and the idea was that it could have gone graphic or sapphic, depending on the artist's memory of the pose and their interpretation. Everyone had character references, and all I asked people to do was to try and remember and recreate the pose. This time, it's still Prism themed. We're still going for a Prism theme, but we're gonna do a magical girl, and we're just gonna solely focus on the design aspect. No references given, except that I had a reference because I knew a design I wanted to set everyone up with. Anyway, let's get started! Me. So, for this telephone, I picked an existing Prism side character that I had concept art for that I'm pretty sure I've only posted on Patreon until now. Her name is Mugi. For the uninitiated, Prism is a magical girl story that I have in development, and some of the in-universe rules are as follows. Each magical girl has a specific outfit theme and a separate weapon theme. Those two themes can match, but they certainly don't have to. Present example being that Mugi's outfit theme is supposed to be based on those fairy ring mushroom patches. And then her weapons theme is this like colonial era toy. It's just sticks and hoops. The only common thread there is like circles. So clearly they don't have to match up all that much in way of justifying how you pair them off. And then additionally, the colors of the outfits are pretty much limited to one main color and one accent color. The color's vibrancy indicates how powerful an individual magical girl is, and the one color, one accent rule itself does have rare exceptions. Lore-wise it does, but considering the main character is rocking up with like 4 colors, like it's like quote-unquote rare, you know? Anyway, I picked Mugi for this challenge because I like her design. I like it. It's more accurate to say that I like the idea of it. She's just a first draft, and so far I definitely think she's over-designed. Like, I think the fairy ring aspect gets really easily lost because I tried pretty hard to make it look woodsy. Like, I've got moss hanging off of her dress, and the cape is supposed to look like wisteria, and there's copious amounts of flowers. And for some reason, I shaped her like sticks to go with her hoop, those weapons. I put clover shapes on them instead of anything mushroom related. I don't have an excuse. She needs revisions. So I guess you can say that I recruited all of my very talented friends to potentially steal some design ideas from. But I mean, also, it's just for the fun of the game. We just wanted to see what would happen. Don't worry about my intentions. Here's the finished piece. Let's move on. Emily Chu. I will not lie. I don't know how she did it, but Emily did so good recreating Mugi from memory that when she showed me the result, I was a little afraid that this would end up being a very boring video and that Mugi would look more or less exactly the same by the time that everyone had played. This is not an insult. This is such a compliment. Emily has like the memory of an elephant, I guess. Could not be me. However, sorry to spoil it, this isn't a very boring video. It's just, this is the last time Mugi will be recognizable. Emily's just that good. Like seriously, You can't tell from the video, but I remember, like, I think she looked at the first picture to memorize it right before she went on a hike, and she came back after the hike to draw it, and then she was tired afterwards, so she didn't even color it until the day after the hike. I'm sure my ADHD doesn't help, but, like, I forget directions on how to make my Kraft mac and cheese as soon as I so much as start boiling the water, so I have to reread the instructions after every step. I'm thoroughly impressed by how spot on Emily got this. I think the biggest differences are really just the color shifting to be a bit lighter, and a lot of the details in the original design that I intended to look like plants were simplified a bit to look more like, kind of like actual clothes. And then her cape and garlands were a lot more straightforward with the coloring, which I think is a huge improvement for real. Like, it removes some of the problem of her original design that makes it feel so over-designed, so busy. Notably though, notable note, in Emily's version, Mugi still has mushrooms. They're all allocated to her hair drills and her boots, and they're a lot smaller, but they are present. Which, like, I think it contributed a bit to how the telephone went. You'll see in a minute. So, here's Emily's finished piece. I love her art. I love her art so much. And the little white highlights, there's the soft, shiny eyes. Ugh, cute. Thank you, Emily. I want to make a Minky Momo joke because magical girls, but I don't know how to make the pun work with her username, so... Not to spoil you again, but right here, starting with Momo, this is where the chaos starts. From Momo's sketch, you can see things start to change, and, like, the general essence of the original design is definitely still here. Like, Momo's got the drill buns, the cape, the general shape of the boots, stuff like that. It's later on in, while she's refining the sketch and the line art where the differences really start coming out. Momo's iteration ended up being completely flower-themed. I think it's really funny. You can actually see her start to add mushrooms to Mugi's little hair drills and then remove them, and I'm not sure if she just hid the layer or forgot, or she wanted to redo them and forgot, or if she just, like, wasn't sure that she remembered mushrooms, so she ditched them. I don't know. But whatever happened, very pivotal to the rest of the game. There's no more mushrooms. Momo's garlands are completely made out of flowers. She gave Mugi this absolutely darling little flower-shaped skirt, and, like, how Mugi's dress had a sort of, like, sheer fabric on the outside, Momo put it on the inside of the skirt. I love the shape of the dress in general. It's very cute, especially the sleeves. Momo gave her these sleeves that sort of match the shape of her cape. She also made Mugi a lot more colorful. The dark green contrasted with the bright pink, and then the yellow and the dark brown. It's not really a faithful prism design anymore, but I never actually clarified to the players that we were drawing specifically a prism magical girl, so it was bound to happen eventually. The hoop was also entirely lost from her weapon, but the sticks look sort of like funky little sabers, and her foliage wrap boots, whatever those were that I came up with, Momo has them look like these thick brown, like Robin Hood boots. I don't know if Robin Hood is a clothing style, that's just the descriptor that comes to mind. Here's Momo's finished piece. I love this lass. It's Chi-Bi. Cheese is also pretty different from the piece before hers, but it's also closer to Momo's than Momo's was to Emily's. You can see in Chi's early sketch that the first thing she did was outline the silhouette. She remembered the flowy part of the cape and the big hair drill buns and Momo's flower belt, but a lot like Momo, the details started to change as she was refining the sketch and started getting into the line art. The front part of the cape came around to wrap over her chest. She gave her these big boobs, and I think that actually became a little integral going forward. Silly, sublime. So the shirt slash cape slash dress became a sort of overcoat, maybe I would call it, over a straight skirt without any sheer fabric at all. And then the boots and gloves from the previous design were changed to be these sort of like fun leg and arm warmer accessories. Like, they really remind me of these early 2000s anime designs. Like, in a way that makes me all like warm and smiley. I like it. In the coloring stage, the detail of the garlands also got a lot more simplified, which reduces the color palette. The ones around the buns in particular, oh, that rhymed, huh? They've changed from being little bushes to solely flowers that match the ones on her little garland belt. And the shade of pink that she used complements the shifted hair color really well, I think. The belt also changed to have like one big center flower, and then the rest of them were a lot smaller to make up like a little conglomerate of fluff. So here's Chi's final design. Officially lost all of the mushrooms, even in spirit, you know. We are no longer in fairy ring territory. We are flower now. It's adorable. Thank you, Chi. Beep, beep. So I'd like to open this up with the fact that I love Izzy, and I'm never gonna shut up about Izzy's art style, the single layer painting look. I love Izzy's art. I love the, did you know? During Izzy's sketch, we can see that Izzy almost gave Moogie like the most voluptuous ass, and then chickens out at the last second like some sort of coward, fucking robbed. But anyway, in Izzy's earlier drawings, Moogie's outfit almost became a strapless sort of dress, and the overcoat changes again. Instead of being a wrap, it comes together into a long dress with 2 slits on either side for the legs, like real long slits. When they get to the line art, we get a proper boob window instead of the gap between the top of the dress and the garland necklace that Chi gave us. And then how Chi had like flowers along the sleeves, Izzy moved them down a bit to be more like armbands. So they're on the forearms, and the flower belt gets this fun little dangly bit, kind of like the ends of the ribbon on the bows. Not that Moogie has a bow. I mean the bows in general. Yeah. Moogie's hair garlands also get the most simplified. They've gone like complete corporate logo. They're not garlands. They are simply like just single flowers on either side. It looks great. The leg warmers became thigh-high boots with these cute little clover designs on the knees, and the colors shifted from being fully saturated to a much cooler pink and warmer green. And we start to see how another emphasis has started to shift again with the big long capey front bit of the skirt becoming like it's a big old leaf pattern, you know, the dress slit parts that hang from her tummy down in front of her legs. I don't know what you would call that. Bear this in mind for later. It's a legendary beginning. We are going to refer to this later as the crotch leaf. Anyway, here's Izzy's final drawing. It is so mwah, mwah. They did not lie. That K is creamy. K's art is so teeny tiny cute. I'm begging y'all to look with your eyes. It is a whole lot of excellence that they managed to wrap in such an itty bitty package. Right. So, K's design, technically, like the end result, which you have not seen yet, of course, is not very far from Izzy's, but the colors took on like a complete life of their own, and that absolutely set the stage for how the telephone would continue from here. Kay immediately turned the drill buns into these kitty ears up in the hair and shifted the overall outfit design closer to like, I don't know if it's sci-fi, but I mean, I can't think of any other genre to describe that has like skin-tight bodysuits and these pointy shoulders. Like, I don't know about you guys, I can very easily picture her standing all cool with her arms crossed behind her back and directing her space crew and her spaceship through like space. It's just that kind of vibe. But Kay kept the flowers, which keeps us rooted in the plant theme. The fabric down the middle has become straight up a leaf, straight up our crotch leaf that we're now calling it, instead of fabric with a sort of leafy pattern. And the boots became high heels, which I don't know if it's the silhouette or if that like makes it a power stance, or if it's the idea of just heels clacking against like linoleum floor. I don't know, something about them's like striking. I'm here for it. Moogie lost one of her hook weapons, and the one that we're left with kept the flower design, but the hook took on a heart shape. And from there, it looked like Kay was gonna have the hanging leaves on both the front and the back of the bodysuit, kind of like Izzy did. But he openly admitted on the screen that he forgot what it looked like. So he just changed the back leaf to make it more hair at the last minute, which you can tell in the final picture how the bottom of the hair has like the leaf texture to the line art. It's funny, it's cute, I like it. Also, maybe the single best moment to capture the essence of the art telephone games is just writing "I forgot" on your canvas. Final design, she's a little space commander, but she's also a marshmallow that I intend to consume with some chocolate and graham crackers. Thank you, Kay. Robin, but with a Y and not an I like in die. I said Kay set the stage, and I meant it. For a good while here, the telephone goes through this funny little phase of each step being really close to the last. You'll see. Robin's memory was fantastic. Had it not been for how dramatically different their style is from Kay's, honestly, I'm sure the final result would have been a lot closer than it already is. Robin really solidified Moogie's cat ears, emphasized the texture of her hair. They took how Kay made the back leaf into more hair, and they tied it off as like an elongated ponytail. Sort of like in the Equestria Girls movies, how the main six have these low ponytails to be like their horse tails. It's that, but it's a fluffy kitty tail to go with Moogie's kitty ears. The garlands got some detail back. The color on Robin's version also shifted a bit. I'm not sure how to accurately describe it. Like, they're still obviously cool colors, but I think they're like warmer shades of cool. I also find myself wanting to say that they're a bit more saturated, but I'm not sure if that's true. I'm only just realizing this now, but I was thinking about like Space Captains again, and I wanted to say that Moogie's vibe here was still like Space Captain-y, but like I second guessed myself and I had to think about why the vibe was like slightly off from Space Captain-y. I think it looks more nature-y again, not just because Robin's style is a bit more intricate to allow for more flowering and leaf details, but also the hair texture. The hair texture and being more of a yellow-green instead of Kay's blue-green, it makes the hair look kind of like a bush. She's so cute. She Detroit become Foliage. So here's the final image. I still think she looks Space Captain-y, but with the obvious nature motifs. And above all, beautiful as always, Robin. Thank you so much. What does omeleting something entail exactly? Much like with Robin's step, Hunter's outcome was pretty similar to the design before it. I don't know what it is about this design in particular that Kay spurred that's so much more memorable than the first design that we started off with. Like, I don't know if it's some particular aspect of the design or if I just accidentally put everyone with the best memory in a nice little single file line. Either way, I am amused. Ultimately, the outfit is about the same. We lost the Sci-fi shoulders, which means we've lost our status as ship captain. That's definitely what that signifies. And Hunter disconnected Moogie's sleeves from her top, effectively turning them into gloves. The boots dropped to her calves instead of being over the knee, and this hook weapon, it started off as the sticks. It looks like a hook now. It keeps its heart shape, but it lost its little flower decoration. And that's really mostly it as far as changes go. Hunter's garlands are simplified a little bit. They have, again, just the one central flower surrounded by, like, puffy bits. It's still, like, really close to how Robin did them, though. Seriously, I don't know how people are remembering all this shit. I cannot. The real thing of note is that Hunter shifted the colors back to be all warm. Like, they completely give off plant vibes. The blue is completely dropped for a less purplish pink to take over. And since he shifted all the greens away from being tinted blue to just straight up like forest green, I think the hair looks even more like she's got hedges sprouting right out of her head and cascading gracefully down her back. Here's his final piece. Nice memory, Hunter. Good telephoner. Rosie, your name keeps auto-correcting to roast when I type it. Rosie, I give you a big kiss. Love of my life, j'adore, etc. That was for Rosie, guys. I love her. For Rosie's part, we still stick pretty close to the design before hers. Her preliminary sketch to remember details it's literally so cute. It's a little doodle where she labels everything, and she even labeled the colors. The first change came in the refining the sketch, where the lower half of the hair got trimmed to be much shorter. It's cropped to be like right underneath the ponytail holder, so it looks less like a fluffy cat's tail. It's not quite as round, but we keep the hedge look. I half expected her to add flowers to it by the time she was finished coloring. Moogie's kitty ears also got a headband. The hair looks a bit more natural with it being colored, like the color's darkened, so it looks a bit more like a cosplay. I think it's super cute. While the design is still similar to the last few rounds, I feel like it's got a lot of a more, like a sporty vibe here than a sci-fi one, sort of. I still don't even know if anybody agrees with me if it kind of looked like sci-fi. I don't know. Lambast me if you disagree. Rosie changes the boots to have the same flower fluff from the garland so that they look like those nice, cozy, fur-lined boots. And then Moogie's gloves were completely dropped, and the chest window got rounded out a bit, which I think makes it look kind of more like a comfortable leotard. It's very sporty. I don't even know if people agree with that. Am I describing anything okay? Final design, I'ma kiss her, just like I'm kissing Rosie. My Rosie. Oh no, Sam got me all wet. Sam's part, oh my god, I am never gonna stop thinking about this. I am feral. So, Sam's another note taker. but she took liberties from the very beginning with her sketch and actively played around with the design. I don't know how much she specifically misremembered versus knowingly and intentionally changing them to make a more cohesive design just to, like, for her personal improvement of the piece, you know? Whatever it was, I love it. It's so fucking good. She kept elements like the lined boots and the fluffy belt and the front-facing crotch leaf, but she took the fluffy flower garlands that we've had up until now and converted them fully into what looks like fur lining, I think, like super fluffy fur lining. Ethically sourced, I presume. She added rips to part of the shirt that sort of play into that sporty look. She gave the skirt a corset. It looks lovely as hell. And then in the line art stage, Sam also brought back the gloves, and she added little beans, little kitty paw beans to go with the cat ears, and I wanna hold her little kitty hands. Fuck! And while Moogie's design has been turning over this whole thing from like a hook saber into a metal wand, Sam really dove right back into the woodland look. Like, she made it look like it's being carved out of this bright wood, and it's got these colorful dandelion puffs. It's so fun. Sam also added a fun two-tone to the hair while darkening the color to brown. She shifted the overall outfit to different but complementary shades of green. It's excellent. And here's the final look. I am so for real extremely tempted to go just design a different Prism character based off of this. Sam, I am in love with you, actually, for real. Fire can't set me on fire because I'm already all wet. My lovely son Fire, hello boy. Fire's preliminary sketch kept a lot of the shape details that Sam set up, but in the most tragic turn of events, Moogie's cat ears were lost. I remember afterwards he told me that he couldn't quite be sure he actually remembered cat ears, and he second-guessed himself enough to ditch them. FYI, for audience's information, he's full of regret. Very tragic, pour one out. But in exchange, she got this little heart-shaped ahoge to match her wand. I don't know how to pronounce ahoge. Hope I got that right. I love hearts though, so I think it's an acceptable trade. I call it a win. Other than the cat ears, he stayed pretty close to Sam's version. While refining the sketch, the corset from Sam's piece was replaced with an open midriff, and the fur that like peeked out of the top of the corset went back to being more like a belt. He turned the skirt lining into a layered little petticoat, add some poof, it's very fun. Fire's colors, very fun, very vibrant. He shifted them heavily towards yellow, and most of the tiny pink accent colors that Sam kept became yellow as well. And then the toes of the shoes also got little hearts placed on them. Thank you, Fire. Gift for me. Love hearts. Hearts, even. It also looks like, along with the outfit getting fluffier, that Moogie got a little fluffier, little chubbier. Love that for her. What a gift. What a treasure. Final piece. We thank Fire for his artistic service, and we thank him for keeping our homes warm in the winter. He's not a Vin dollar, he's a Vincent. The heart ahoge is now officially the most important detail because Vincent captured it immediately in his early sketch. Thank you, Vincent, you're my hero. It's around here that I start to realize that we're in another string of people with really good memories. Sam set the whole new tone, the whole new foundation, and then Fire and Vincent followed like faithful little ducks, and the design ended up, it's pretty faithful. Where Fire had let the textured hair loosen a bit to be more like wavy, Vincent tightened the curls right back up and tied the ponytail off with these two little leaves, and then also tied the midriff to make the outfit into a solid dress again. Vincent put down flat colors before lining, and for the most part, really remembered Fire's color palette. He simplified some designs, like the pattern on the skirt became a thin yellow trim, and the skirt in general is a lot more of a yellow-green. The dandelions that had been sprouting out of like some of the fur lining were either completely forgone or in some places just like replaced with little hanging pom-poms. And then Moogie's skin and hair colors became more tinted with red. It's kind of funny, between like Sam, we had like the very cool colors, and then Fire's were in the middle, and Vincent's are very warm. We've encompassed the spectrum. Finally, Moogie's wand went from heart-shaped to crescent moon-shaped. And I mean, like, if you think about it, what is a heart if not two strangely shaped crescent moons? Think about it. It's a fact, actually. Look it up. Don't let anyone tell you that hearts look like butts. Butts were also actually shaped to look like waning moons. Look it up. Look it up. Here's Vincent's design. I am in love with the roundness of her cheeks. They are extremely pinchable. There's no A's in this username. How insane. Meg opens up her sketch with outlining the pose and the little heart ahoge. I feel like ahoge is that the right, I feel like I'm saying a Naruto thing. Meg kept the original design shape pretty well, and then halfway through the sketching process, she adds more clear creases to the top of the skirt to ruffle it up a bit, like a Reese's peanut butter cup. She also merges the top from like a slightly tattered layered shirt into a solid sleeveless V-neck. It in general makes me think of the little Sailor Scout uniforms, but sans the puffy sleeves and the cape collar thing. I think it's partially because she added a little, like a leafy brooch, oh god, how do you say that, to the chest to match with Moogie's hair tie. The biggest change, however, the elephant in the room, so to speak, is the crotch leaf that we've had for so long now at last makes its departure. No longer is the Vatican covering up her massive schlong with an even massive fig leaf. We've gone from censored Greek sculptures to whatever Mute Ichigo has going on. The little moon wand's dandelions became pom-poms that were tied around the pole, and they matched the pom-poms hanging off of her boots, and the yellow in Moogie's outfit they look a bit more beige, like a little bit. And the overall color scheme now is like dark green with red accents. So, I mean, it is September. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here's Meg's final piece. We are almost at the end, folks. My loveliest video editor, Pat, I'm worried about what will happen if I don't compliment him. Okay, so backstory real fast. The last handful of telephone contestants, I didn't organize. I got the idea that it might be fun if I went last, so we could have like an explicit comparison from where Moogie started versus where Moogie ended. Plus, otherwise, I would have now made 2 art telephone videos and not actually gotten to play telephone myself. So Robin was the one who got the remaining players. The last 3 people you saw, from Fire onward, I didn't know they were participating. So I had no idea that Patrick would be playing, and I was absolutely delighted. He's a great friend of mine and also my editor, and he's not really an illustrator, so I wouldn't have thought to ask him on my own. But when Robin showed me his piece for me to draw from, I was absolutely tickled. He did such a great job. When he did his first sketch, most of what he was doing was mapping out the pose, and he remembered everything really well. The design is largely unchanged. Alas, our little heart ahoge has tragically left the building and taken my own heart with it, but he remembered to have an ahoge still. Other details like pom-poms that had been up on the boots and the wand, they ended up disappearing as well. The big leaves from the ponytail holder are gone too. But that's pretty small fry in the grand scheme of things. The green got pretty saturated too, and the overall colors were simplified to be solids for the most part. And then the beige yellow shifted completely to gray. My favorite detail though is he made her sing a little song. I'm not sure if the wand was intended to serve a microphone, or if it's just she was singing and the wand's there, so it's happenstance, but it's super cute. Et voila! Patrick's finished piece. Proud of you, Pat, thank you. Oh no, not this again. So it all comes down to this. Full circle, it's time. After I received Patrick's drawing and got all of my love and excitement out, I got down to business. And now that I've seen all of the finished pieces, I think my final drawing actually looks a lot closer to Meg's than it does to Patrick. I think that's pretty funny. All of the yellow fluff from earlier that Patrick made gray, I happened to make yellow again. Patrick didn't give her a hair tie, but I knew her hair was tied, so I took a guess that it needed a tie and I gave her pom-poms. And the chest piece is more pronounced on my piece, like it was in Meg's. I remembered the music notes next to the wand from Pat's drawing, but I couldn't exactly remember the shape of the wand, so I assumed to go for a microphone, and I happened to add pom-poms back to the mic portion as a repeating element, even though they're in a different place from where the pom-poms were on Meg's version, still, Meg's wand had the pom-poms. It's all very coincidental, and I think I should maybe get into shiny hunting or something, because what are the fucking odds? I also went full in on the Mute Ichigo thingies. I saw those and I immediately thought of my original inspiration. And in general, I remember Patrick's 2 teeny tiny leaves on the chest and the overall green color scheme, so my mind went leaf. And I tried to make the skirt of her dress look like it was fashioned out of big leaves. But I think it mostly just kind of looks like lettuce, so aren't I the fucking fool? Mute Ichigo, more like Mew lettuce. It's fucking soggy, hot and spicy looking ass. And that just about wraps this up. We can look at the Moogie I started with, right next to the Moogie I ended with. Literally, what the hell? she went from teeny fairy mushroom little lass to, like, this big adorable singing dryad. Like, she's basically Eurydice from Hades. I knew that we would stray, but I didn't realize how far we would end up straying. I am delighted. I am thrilled. I had a blast. Here's all the final pieces next to each other. I love every single one. There aren't enough kisses in the world. So once again, this has wrapped up our telephone game. I think this one was a lot more fun since it inherently had the most things that could have changed between the pieces. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. And I'd also like to thank my patrons. That was weird. Anyway, thank you so much to my patrons. $2 a month gets you everything I post to Patreon, such as any works in progress for projects that I have, or, things that I can upload early. I put them on Patreon. That's where I have to share them. I'm gonna have a busy rest of the year. There's a lot of changes coming, so expect to see a lot more on Patreon in the upcoming months. And then $2 a month gets your name read at the end of my videos just like this. Thank you so much to Inugami Black, Aravis Now, Sprout Lad, Nyx Flames, Tea-Sitter, Princess of Pastels, Dragon Girl, Golden Rose Zero Monsters, The Legend of Alice, Danny Glitter, Stymphalion, Kiger, Capri Crocker, Ellie Mocha, Raven Troll, Kitty Freak, Anachan, That Art Chick, Ghostly Goat, Giltice, Zachary Borgs, Madison, Spirit of Avalon, Phantom Bagel, Middlesy, Nobody Named Nick, Milkser, Tara Meringue, Sydney Moore, Luna Yoku, Salmon Pro 16, Rose Garcia, Daphne Jolly, Gallivanting Galliforms, Spoofty, Sean M, Tristan, Jinx Nyan, Egoat, Johnny Ariano, Starla Herman, Square Heart, Ray, White Rhino 2222, Tropical Rouge Precure, Weebulus, Luna Lou the Mew, Taylor, Boring Studios, Adrikai 4921, Artist number 580, Rain Jake, Gracie Cake, Fusion Fire 35, Buggy Boy NB, Air Fox 352, Seal Avery, Kamiki Miyata, Young Nanner, Sylvia Garcia, Seven Rats in a Trench Coat, Nate Art, Ray Spark, Ulriki Draws, Zwetic, Furiel, Queen Sonoko, Real Me, Never to Be Seen, Green Rose, Golden Rose, Adam Hedges, Azzy Jazzy, Melvonix, Lucas Mullins, V. Rogers Art, Spooketti, Sunset Lemonade, Lola aka Sugar Skull, Classically Electric, Smooshy, Brinamo, Natty Waddy, I Try to Fight, Tooth Lily, Chewy Ghoul, Crimskoy, Brian Bizdezeki, Ziola, Solisor Uwu, Mario Medina, Zephyr Christos, Tea Leaf Lion, Diana Lillian, Brandon Bishop, Prince B, Teztastic, Writer Deli, Little Star, Ravalex, Abigail Wargo, Adorable Kitten, Silas Bravo, The Laundromat, Higgs Maynard, Jordan Ripley, Key the Queen, The Apathetic Asshat, It's KD, Stratus Wins, Nightmage 14, Selfish, Jeremy Reedinger, Faley, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Arctic Sentry, Cheese Sprout, Makaru, James Zamora, Triple Stone, Shortcake Snake, Doodle Crazy Meg, Seb, Alien Drag Queen, Caller 3 Tora, Blue Daniel 16, Mew Kichigo, Nikozawa, Andre, Dojo Kid, Raiden, Pressy Antique Antiqua, Rasuri On, Hikari Yu, Velvet Sugar Fox, Cody Richard, Coda, Shay L, Ashveer, Aswick, Mincy, Swift Chaos, Johnny Stars, Peachy Mint, Violet Cat, Nico Starcy, Gus Daniels, Andrew Robinson, Dust Munchies, Russell the Jimmies, Nifty, Kirk Coleman, Christian Pip, Candy Babes, Kristaru, Deary of the Wind, Is They, Helix, Berserker 102, Michael, Firenewt 451, Mimin, Madu, Dregoth, Cat Dagger 2, Weasel Bites, Benjamator, Plasm User, Yakumo Soul Queen, Avery Michael, Izzy Woo, Teeny Tiny Draws, Silver Shadow, Shinzaya, Dusk, That's Bobby, Air Oh Whoa, Dirk Henry, Wet Father, Thunder Evermore, Sarah, Junimo, Dracos, Chia Rico, Womelsdorf Art Lauren, Sound Alchemy, Scribblet, Codal Cuddles, Jakey Jellybean, TV Island, Malochu, Free Flight, Chiorio, Archibald Anarchy, Dylan MX, Project Empty Reen 5, Phantom Kid 02, Jacob Goodwin, It's Ya Old Geezer AJ for you, kind sir, Schooly Sweet, Winrin, Kramunch, Fields of Starlight, Mickey Ann, Hachiyubi, Disassociated Doodlers, DJ Cat Meow, Danny, Oh Vive, Sweetly Sinistra, The Crystal Paladin, Astrophel AA Noir, Cyrus Cupid, Lance Thompson, Talon Aspinwall, Fuck you, Mason, Shadow Princess 878, Miss Contrary, Nerdy Art, Deadly Wolves Rule, Remiku, Hollow Jackals, Show Tunes, Sammy Sammer, G1102, Leviathan Vol Audacity, Strawberry Kitty, Glasses Protag, Hentai Goddess Uwu, Oh Dear, Extril, Titan 119, Logan, Jesse Rue, Sorta Friendly, Sid Chaos, Andy Artistics, I probably can't read, I definitely can't, Cryptid, Posse P, Kale Astris, Strawberry Bell, Luby Z, blank, Mim Silvernote, Dishwasher, Dark Soul 751, Miros Elijah, Unknown.dev, Maddie Mist, Leon Dexter, Ilro is the name, and Bias the game. Emperor Dom, Cooper Clark, Jesse Ariano, Mark Delark, Athenath Witch, Ixchilia, Pipes, Meet Me in Montauk, Fried Crystal, TV, Exorcist Lilum, Sincerely, Asha Hawkins the best, Quake, Anna Ewins, Highs, Iolani Anderson, CJ Duffy, Diego Tovar, Dylan Faland, Rudio, Sil Emmy, Dia, Ouija Draws, and Inferno's Hope. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me. I hope the next few months of content and all the cool stuff I have in store are going to be worth it. I hope you're all having a great day. Bye!